Welcome to the video that will demonstrate how to start setting up your slides that will have videos. In this case, it's going to have videos on film techniques. So you're going to go ahead and log in to Canva like you did in the previous video. You're going to choose your class period by clicking on the image and then clicking on the link that pops up. You're going to choose Sign Up with Google and use your student account to log in like you did in the previous video. And your recent designs pop up. You can go to all your designs over here on the left, but there it is. I will go ahead and open it up to continue editing. I did want to point out if there's something you don't want on a slide, you can always select it and hit the trash can. I'm going to do Control Z, or you can select it and hit the delete key on your keyboard. But I'll go ahead and leave those. If you don't want this, you would again delete that. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this slide as is, and I'm going to click on the plus sign to add another slide. So I want to show you one that I created. Here's my introductory slide. I actually have two. This one was really fun. I was able to add a video in that particular slide. And then this is what I did. I designed a slide. I added the name of the technique, and then I added an example. See how it goes to the next slide? I have zoom in, and then it's going to show the zoom in option. All these slides are basically the same. The only difference is the title changes and the technique video changes. So that's what we're going to be doing. So the templates pop up. You could use any of these templates for video. As you can see, for example, this one happens to have images, but you could swap off those images with video. Well, I'm not going to use this one, so I'll go ahead and find one that goes with my theme. After doing some exploring, I tried movies up in the search window, I tried film, and then I added creative, and I came across this one that I really like. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it out, and I'm going to totally transform this. Number one, I don't want that photo. I will delete it. I do want this frame in the back, so I'm going to stretch it out, and I'm going to make it take up most of this slide. I'm going to take this photo, and I'm going to make it big so that it takes up most of the slide. So I'm basically going to swap off that image with the technique. So I'm going to select that and use the delete key. I will delete this one as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in and I'll delete this one. After making this slide looking really attractive, I'm going to go ahead and go to the uploads option, and I'm going to upload my media. So in this case, I'm uploading video. I will choose upload media. I will go to that folder on my desktop in the computer design folder, film techniques, and I will select one. Because I want all of these, I will do Control A on the keyboard to select all and choose open. You need at least 10 video examples for your project. I have well over 10 in this example. Notice it's black. If you scroll over it, you'll be able to see what the technique is. So as you can see, that one is zoom in. Here's another one. That's a creative shot. I will add that later. That one would be a close-up. Let's say I want my first video to be close-up. I will drag it and swap it off. I don't want this. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Actually, I could move it over. It's a little creative there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the video. I'm going to mute it, and I could add 0 and hit enter, or just drag it so it's at 0. So now that when I play it, you can see that it's a close-up. I will select this text and type in close-up. I will delete this, and maybe I'll center this on the page, and I'll play around with the font and be right back. So I chose apricot. I'm going to go ahead and click on the text because I want all my text to be centered at the bottom of the page, and I will choose the option up at the top so that it's centered. Notice if you keep clicking on it, it gets aligned differently, but I want it centered. If you want to make it bigger, you can, but keep in mind larger names will be on there. You want to keep this page consistent. So I'm going to go ahead and center it. You can see it's centered by that pink line going through the center of the page. So you want to perfect one slide, because once you've perfected it, you're going to duplicate it, and then all you have to do is change the name and change the video. This makes the process much quicker if you duplicate this slide. Now, if you want to add some interesting elements to it, you would go over on the left, choose elements, make sure you choose graphics, and I'm going to choose a transparent graphic because it's more interesting. Now, I don't want Christmas, so I will go ahead and type in film to get images relevant to this topic, and then locate an image to add. So for example, if I want this, I would click on it and it's added to the slide, and you can make it a little smaller, and I'll show you what this looks like. So I might drag it so it's not taking up so much time, and I'll look for some more elements to add a little more interesting aspects to this slide. So after exploring, I added a few items. You don't want to add a lot of elements, then it will be too busy. You want them to focus on the actual video. So I've decided I'm going to click on the white part and make it stretch a little more. I'm going to make the video a little larger, and I'm going to center it within that frame. I'm going to bring the close-up option down, and then I'm going to bring the background of that close-up down. Now do keep in mind I stretched out the title because I'm going to be adding different techniques and it needs to fit. And you don't want to change the size of the font because you want every single font to be the same on every slide. With that said, maybe I'll move this up a tad and the camera up a tad and bring this down again until I have this slide perfected. Maybe I'll delete that, and I'm going to delete this little part here. I don't need it anymore, so I'll move that over, and I'm still going to keep working this until it's perfected before I duplicate it. So I have the slide how I want it, and I'm going to duplicate it. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and click over here on the video, and there's an option to add transitions. So to do that, you can click over here between the introduction and the slide, and you would just choose the add transition option. And my favorite is dissolve, so I will choose dissolve. So now if I play it, this is what it looks like. And then it dissolves through. So now I'm happy with this slide. I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to choose the option to duplicate page. Then I will go over here on the left and go to the uploads, go to the video option, and I will drag out a technique. Now I will watch it, and this is the tilt option. So I'll come in and I will replace close-up with tilt. And I will continue to duplicate, and if necessary, make it less time by either dragging it so it takes up less time or dragging it so it takes up more time. Again, I will add the transition, and in this case I'm choosing dissolve because I want consistency. I'm going to go here, I will duplicate the slide again, I will drag out another technique. And this one is a medium shot, so I will select the title and type in medium shot. And I will continue to do this until all of my techniques have been set up. So I added 10 or more examples of film techniques, and I realized that this camera is not working because it doesn't have enough contrast. So I am going to delete it on every single slide. What I did is I decided to add this. It's exactly where I want it. I will do Control-C on the keyboard to copy it, and now I have to go to every single slide and paste it so that I have that consistent element. So again, I will delete it and do Control-V on every single slide. So what I did is I made sure that I had a dissolve between each slide, and you can see it in between the videos. I double checked that each video had the correct title to match the technique, and now I'm ready to go to the next video, which will talk about adding credits and music. This concludes the session on how to set up your slides and duplicate them so you have consistency on all slides. Until next time, you have a wonderful day.